Alright, time to redeem myself. I just got invited to a home game at my brother's house. He's got some family in town on his fiance's side. So it's going to be a tournament. I would imagine it's going to be a turbo as well, considering it's a home game. It's going to be a small buy-in, $20 to $25, and that's pretty much exactly what I got left after my loss earlier today at the 1-2 cash game at the American Legions. So they're expecting about 10 people. If I can make it in the top 2, I could win at least half of my money back. So that's what I'm going to try to do since it's a small buy-in. I'm not too worried about it. So let's have some fun and see how things go here. My first playable hand, I wake up with the premium pocket kings. I'm under the gun +1. And with this being a home game and everyone typically calls any 2 cards with a small raise, I decided to immediately get aggressive here with my bet and pump it up to 6x the big blind, which is 2,500. The opponent to my immediate left min raises me to 5,000 all day. Now pay attention to this player because we get involved in a ton of hands with him in this particular tournament, and I quickly learned he plays a loose aggressive style in this hand. Hijack and under the gun makes the call while everyone else folds. When it gets back to me, I'm thinking there's just way too many people in this hand, and with about 20k in the pot, I pump it up again to 40k. And my opponent to the left immediately announces all in, but with a very low tone in his voice, which leads me to believe his hand is not very strong. Now I'm getting excited. It's folded around to me and I make the obvious call. He flips over pocket 8s and I got a massive 80% equity advantage to win the hand. The board runs out clean and I'm just glad we got an immediate double up. My opponent tells me nice hand, then he decides to rebuy. Coming into the next playable hand, I get dealt Queen Jack suited on the button. Under the gun raises it to 2,000, under the gun +2, and low jack make the call. I didn't want to raise here considering I'm dominated by a lot of premium hands like ace queen, ace jack, king queen, king jack, and of course all the other premiums like pocket jacks, queens, kings, aces, and also ace king. Nonetheless, I wanted to see a flop here and see how everything plays out, so I make the call. It's 4 ways to the flop and it comes out okay, but not the best considering there's 4 people involved. I think I should be beat here, so I'll just play it cautiously. Under the gun makes it a continuation bet of 2,000. Now pay attention to how the low jack says he has queen 10 in his hand, letting everyone know he just flopped a boat.
Is that 2 tens and a queen?
Yeah.
That's the same thing I got in my hand.
You don't destroy this chick, watch.
No, queen, a 10 and a queen.
Now, I know we're not supposed to believe anyone at the poker table, but this is the 3rd time he's told us what he's had. The first 2 times was off camera, and he has not lied 1 time. But considering the pot odds here, I decided to call it, and we'll see what happens on the turn. Maybe he's lying. The turn comes an ace, and under the gun decides to get more aggressive here with a half pot bet, which makes me believe that ace helped him somehow. Low jack makes the call, and I just can't think of any ways I'm good here with this hand, so I make the fold. They are heads up to the river, which comes as 7 of clubs, and under the gun bets 10,000. Low jack makes the call. Under the gun flips over king jack for a made straight on the turn, and low jack shows the queen 10 just like he said he had. He takes it down with the full house, and I'm just surprised he didn't raise not 1 single time. He's playing pretty passively here. On to the next playable hand, I get another premium, the pocket queens in the low jack position. It folds to under the gun +2, who limps in, and I pump it up to 15,000. Hijack makes the call, and button is short stacked, so he decides to shove his remaining 21,800 chips. I'm liking that. Small blind makes the call, and so does under the gun +2. And I'm just thinking there's way too many people here, so I got more aggressive and made it 75,000 on top of the 21,800. Hijack makes the call, the small blind makes the call, and under the gun +2 shoves his remaining 79,000, which is just 4,000 more than what I had. So everyone else just calls the extra 4,000. Wow, I was not expecting every single person to call, but I do have a premium, and everyone here has been calling aggressive bets pretty lightly, so if I could just fade some overcards, I just might be good here. The flop comes out amazing for me, and the small blind decides to check it. With the flush draw out there, and possibly overcards coming in the future, I just decide to shove it all in here to protect my hand. With my opponent to the left of me so hesitant to make the call, I know I got him beat, and I'm just praying for him to call, but he makes the disciplined fold, so good play on him. The small blind follows, also making the fold. The turn comes the ace. Ouch. The river comes out of blank. Then we all flip over our cards, and the button shows the ace-10 for a made 2 pair. I'm just glad he was short stacked because he only won the smaller pot of 100,000. Under the gun +2 shows jack 6 of spades, completely missing the board. The small blind shows ace queen off, so I definitely dodged a bullet and made the correct play, shoving all in on the flop so he wouldn't get there on the turn. That would have definitely hurt my stack so bad if I so played this flop. The hijack shows he had pocket 9, so he made a good fold on the flop. I take down the huge side pot of more than 300,000 chips. Let's go. I just took a dominant lead in this tournament, and I don't plan on stopping. I'm coming in hot because not too long after that big pot, I get dealt pocket aces on the button. It can't get better than that. Let's go. We're only 5-handed here, and it's folded around to me, so I decided to just do a small min raise because I don't want to scare away the blinds. As soon as I raise, the player to my left 3-bets me 232,000. And the big blind folds, so now I'm thinking if he has a hand to raise me with, he will definitely call a re-raise from me. And I want to get in as much money as possible. With that being said, I make it 75,000 to play, and he calls. The flop comes out clean for me, and I'm not too worried about the flush draw because I have a great blocker, which is the ace of hearts, taking away a lot of his flush combos he could have here. He leads with 75,000, and I'm thinking if I raise here and if he doesn't have the king, he will likely just fold. So I decide to slow play it here to disguise my hand to see what he does on the turn, and I make the call. Another 3 comes on the turn, then he bets another 75k. This card doesn't scare me, so I make the call. A 5 comes on the river, and he leads again this time for 150k. That makes me wonder what exactly does he have here with a third leading bet and originally raising me pre-flop. I'm thinking he may have a full house here, but with his loose, aggressive playstyle, he could really have anything. So I just make a safe call and choose not to raise. He flips his cards over, showing pocket queens, and we take down another huge pot Let's go. We're on a crazy sun run here, and the future is looking bright. Another 20 minutes or so goes by, and I wake up with the ladies. What exactly is going on tonight? I keep catching these premium pocket pairs, and I haven't lost to them yet. This time, it's folded around to me in the small blind, and I min raise it to 80,000. And the big blind makes the call. The flop comes out, and boom! We hit the top set. Let's go! This tournament just keeps getting better and better for me. I make the sneaky check, and he unfortunately checks it back. The turn comes out clean, and I decide it's time to get some money in the pot with a 50K bet, and he makes the call. The river comes out and pairs the board. Boom! We got the top full house. Let's go. I decided it's time to get some money in the pot, and I bet 100K hoping he has an 8 or connected with this board in some kind of way. And he folds, showing 4-9 of spades, complete air, and he was on a gut shot straight draw, so I think we got the most we would ever get out of him with that hand. Alright, that wraps up the home game tournament. I ended up coming in first place in chips, but we decided on a 3-way split. The blinds just were way too big. I was sitting on over $1 million in chips, and I still only had 16 big blinds as a chip leader. These home games, they get pretty crazy at the end with the blinds going up significantly. So, and the other two people only had about 500,000 each. So I was dominating, but I still decided on a split because when the blinds are that high, they can pretty much just shift in any direction at any time. So, since I was a chip leader, I got slightly more. There was 9 entries with 1 rebuy at $25 each, so that was a total of $250 in the pot. I got 100 as chip leader, and they both split the remaining, which was 75 each. So all in all, I'm about $75 in profit since it was a $25 buy-in. My second session was a win, so not too bad.